It's not something that I would comment. No, not with them points, because it doesn't seem to be a point because I don't know what I'm talking about. Leaving people to their own expertise.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Starting a bit late, but just getting back by me. First of all, before we do anything, I'd just like to say thank you very much to all of you for sticking me in this chair.
Bill.
It's a privilege to be here, and I'll do my best for everybody. Now, if you're able, please stand up while our chaplains you can take a few breaths.
A few days ago, we celebrated Ascension Day, and shortly we shall be celebrating the coming of the Holy Spirit as the gift from God which brings hope and promise to fill all of our lives, if only we ask. As a new civic year begins, we pray for the coming term under the leadership of our newly elected Mayor, Bill Kimberley. We ask the blessing upon him and his Mayoress, Celia Kimberley, and his Deputy, Peter Skersfield, and for all those who serve the town, freely and willingly giving up their time so to do. We ask that the Holy Spirit is present amongst us all tonight and over the months ahead, and will give us vision, patience and wisdom to navigate the business which lies ahead and which will bring about positive change in our town. Amen.
Just a gentle reminder, make sure your phones are turned off. Thank you. First thing, apologies for absence.
We've had apologies from Councillors Smith, Brotherton, Dyke, Nishigaki and Basco.
Item 2, declarations of pecuniary or other interest in accordance with the Town Council's Code of Conduct, including request for dispensation. Any? No. Okay. Item 3, announcements by the Town Mayor. Well, basically, we've had a busy week already. Celia and I went down and opened the medieval market. We visited 2 other mayor-making ceremonies, one in Kidderminster and one in Leamington. They weren't as good as ours. So, but apart from that, it's very nice to be invited, and we're looking forward to visiting some of the councils and spreading the word for Evesham Council as a place to come and see, or to get all the mayors to come as well. And we've got that on the agenda later on in the year for a meeting. There's not much else to say about that. This evening, I would like you all to be as brief as possible. As you've seen, we've got a massive agenda. I hope you've done your homework, and keep the speeches, if you've got any, to a bare minimum. We've got some voting to do, because it's committee night tonight as well. Item 4, the town council report.
Right, so we talked about SIL Fund before, which is a community infrastructure levy, which is due on Boat Lane development. So we've had that, that's £87,867, which we have agreed to put forward to Town Hall Works. So they've been putting building into the building reserve for that. We've also got £606 of SIL funds from smaller development, which is up Cheltenham Road. So that has been got into the pot as well. And we've now received that, so that's in our bank account ready to send. With regards to burials, we've had the report from the Law Commission that's been issued and circulated this afternoon, so that's bedtime reading for you all. Waterside Cemetery, we've got the works for the Dangerous Cemetery wall starting this week on Wednesday. They're going to be doing both sections, well, shoring the one and rebuilding the other. Town Hall, so bat surveys, the dusk and dawn bat surveys have started. They've done the first activity survey, and good news is that there appear to be less bats than were originally thought. So the ecologist is going to be putting a static monitor in the town hall itself to monitor the activity within, and there's probably going to be one more activity survey to do, and then we'll get our final report. And finally, following on from last month's meeting, which was about the credit card statements, we've now started to upload those to the finances page online, so you can see those again. That's the end of my report, unless anyone's got any questions.
Any questions? Any comments? No? Okay, I'll use that. The next item is item 5, minutes of the previous meeting. You've all got minutes that have been circulated. Has anyone got any comments to make from me?
I'll put them as an accurate and I'll put it forward.
Yeah, okay. You got a seconder? No, I think the gentleman's first. Thank you. All those in favour of accepting the 2 reports? Thank you. Got all that? Any against? And any abstentions? 1, 2 abstentions. Thank you. That's passed. The next item 6, is committee meetings. So, the first one is planning and estates. That should be in there. So I just overlooked that there was another meeting in between the extraordinary town council meeting that was held on May the 5th. Does anybody want?
I'll propose it.
You'll propose it. Any seconder, please? Have you got that there? Yeah. All those in favour? Anybody again? And anybody abstaining?
I think I've got to abstain actually, but because I couldn't attend the meeting, so I have to abstain.
No.
Yeah, I couldn't abstain. Come to this meeting.
2 abstentions. Okay, we'll take that back. Okay, so then we'll just go on to the next item. Planning and Estates Committee.
I'm happy to commend this as a true and accurate recording of the meeting.
Second. Yeah. All those that attended, in favour? Yeah. Abstentions? 2. Right, next one. Item 7 is council committees and steering groups. You've got a first thing on there is review of terms of reference of committees.
Yeah, they're basically the same as last year. The only thing that's changed is that in the intervening year, council agreed to delegate some of its policy reviews to various committees. That's been added on the document, so you can see which committee is responsible for reviewing which policy, and that's the only change.
We have a proposer to propose that. John, yeah, and John's really second. Okay. All those in favour of accepting this resolution? That's nearly everybody. Those against, please? Did I see your...
You didn't, but I'll pick up.
Oh, that's it. Abstained. Both. Jim and Reading Homes. Okay. The next item is cancelled. Yeah, 7B. This is the most important one, isn't it? Right. Appointment of council committees. Some of these committees, fortunately, are just perfectly subscribed. So, 9 members and we got one. So, you just take a break from me. Yes, okay. So, okay, on the Planning and Estates Committee, we've got 9 members allowed, and we've got 9 applications. I'll just run through the names. Mike Arons, John Campbell, Tim Haynes, Robert Hale, Sharon Hemming, Matt Jones, Stevie Kimberley, Anne Lyon, Chrissy Smith. If you're all in favour of that, please show no.
Yes, this is town plan,
There's planning. Can you have a show, please, of hands, so that Joe can make a note? Yeah.
I'll show you.
Yeah, please. Yeah,
Okay, so I've just handed a sheet round. These are your voting slips. You can vote for as many or as few as you like on that list. But please, this particular committee has only got a maximum of 5 members, so keep your number of votes to 5 or less. If you go over 5, unfortunately your paper will be described as spoiled and we will throw it away. Okay? Once you've done that, they're going to be collected, then myself and Ashley are going to pop into the room next door, do a quick bit of counting up, and we should be able to give you the results of this one. If for any reason so there's another committee where we might have to have 2 rounds of voting, we'll do a second round. But basically what happens is the person with the least votes gets eliminated from the contest, and that hopefully defines who's on the committee. Everybody happy with that? If you could pass your voting slips forwards, that would be great. Cross or
Yeah, I do.
Ashley? Oh, there we go. Thank you. We got everybody.
I have found a better pen than the one I was using before.
Very ordinary. The habits of the greatest people of the world. Really filled the box, you.
Applying for May 1997.
Yeah, I was just saying. I'll do it. You can
No,
do it.
no, that's wrong. You can't come this
Doesn't
way.
want one. It doesn't want one. It'll be a lot. Since I stirred it all up in the bed.
I don't want to.
Picked up, see, it was it. Decisions, you know, so.
Oh, we
All
use
big.
at the...
If I've got thrown out of meetings, I told everybody about the 7th. Exactly, that's what we're doing right? Because it should have been discussed to council first before it was given to them, for them to make decisions. Only come back as a referral.
What they're counting, I'll just have your attention.
That's what I rejected.
For the finance and general purposes, we need 8 members, and we've got 8 people applied. So if I just read out their names: Mike Owens, Dan Brotherton, John Clatworthy, Sharon Heron, Matt Jones, C.D. Kimberley, Robert Raphael, and Emma Stokes.
Good mix.
And I presume you're all still willing to do that. So could you have a show of hands if everybody accepts that as gone? And I think that is unanimous. Well, should we ask if there's any volunteers there? Want to go on?
Well, to be honest, it's an open committee, isn't it?
Huh?
It's an open committee.
Yeah. Oh, we need to. Okay. You've got a.
There seems to be 9 for the last one, so not 8.
You missed the one. While they're counting up the numbers, the devolution working group is allowed 8 members, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 applications. Unfortunately,
6.
who are the other two?
Well, who
Just read 6.
We've got, it's okay, let me do it. John Campbell-Muir, Robert Hale, Sharon Hemming, and Judy Tucker.
Mark Gooch and someone else.
Yeah, they were
What's
that?
Yeah. So we just clarify this, John. Okay. Also, see you and I forgot to put our names in.
And
I didn't know.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah. Anyway. So
I'm sure you put in for it.
who wants to be added on? Oh, right. Well, we got a few here that want to be added on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I up to 50? No, we don't have, no. So that's another 5, so that puts Scatman on pigeons.
No,
So-
just accept that, Bill, because the more the merrier with this. Right, so if whoever council wants to be on it, just let them go on it.
It's 8 members.
Bobby wants to say something.
Yeah, sorry. Rob.
Mr. Mayor, can I propose, this is a devolution, this devolution was a task and finish group. It was set up to, it's going to wind up about Christmas anyway. I'm going to propose that we hope, yeah, oh God we hope, but then it'll be coming forward as a document to council and it'll be open to the full council then. I'm going to propose that the current Devo group who wish to stay on, carry on until the end of this term.
Question, who are they? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's it. So one presumes we've got the 4 on here. Celia and I were on it. John was on it. Peter was on it, and Robbie was on it. Were you on it, Mark?
No.
No. Oh, sorry. Devolution Working Group. Well, the ones that were on it were Judy Tucker, Peter Skirfield, Robert Raphael, John Campbell, C.D. and Bill Kimberley, Robert Hale, and Julie Haynes.
And Sharon Herman,
And Mark, that's it.
who
Mark.
joined halfway through.
Sorry, Judy.
The problem for me was that there was meetings in the daytime and I work,
Yeah.
so that's my problem. Otherwise, I'd be more than happy to serve on that if it was in the evenings. Because I can't do daytime.
We could certainly make it evenings. I can't see why not.
John.
Yeah, if it's evenings, I can attend. If it's daytimes, I can't because I'm elsewhere working.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll keep you on that list.
Okay.
and then if we have a meeting in the evening, you're welcome to come. If we have to have a meeting in the day, if we meet in for a reason in the day, then you know, that's just put in your apologies. So apart from that, so we add on Sharon on there. Yeah, really. So the list I just read out, plus Sharon, who was added later, Robbie's put a proposal that we all stay on there. Have we got a seconder for that? I think you were the first, Peter. So, and all those...
I would like to join the list as well, please.
You'd like to join as well?
Yes, I did ask in the first place, but I was the only one that was rejected. Everyone else was appointed apart from me. So I would like to apply for the committee this time as well.
Yes. Well, I think it's a committee where we need advice from every angle and have every opinion. So, we'll add to... Oh, sorry, Julie.
Well, if we're adding names, if he is still willing, I think Mark would be very useful.
Yes, I do as well.
Yes.
No, I don't. I explicitly said last time that I don't want to be on it. I haven't changed
I just
my
sent your
mind
name,
since this
and
time
even though
last
you
year.
put it late, so you must have had
No, I have
an
never.
idea
I
of
did
what
not.
to do.
John, let me please.
Stop telling me to shut, please.
I did not put my name forward for it this year. I do not wish to be on it.
Oh, right. I just sent you your name on a list, that was all, Mark, really.
Yeah, okay.
What does that say?
So Mark doesn't want to be on it. Sorry, Rob, you have
do not do this, Sharon. Do not do this.
Robbie
Just
suggested
shut up.
that the group might wind up at Christmas. I can see it going a lot longer than that
Yeah.
because of the consequences of what we
Well,
may not take on.
We'll worry about that time, but I'm sure if everybody's put their name forward, takes a proper interest and comes to meetings, then I'm sure we'll be very fruitful. So could we just all stick our hands up if we think that's a good idea? All those for it? Yeah, that's unanimous. Okay.
Okay, can I clarify the members are now everyone from last year,
Yeah,
plus Councillor Hemming, plus Councillor Miss.
that's right. Yeah. Okay. We've got to finish it.
Now, we've got a tie at the bottom, so you have got
Oh, well, in that case, I've got to do that because that's what I put on my ballot already. Okay. So the people that have been voted on to the Town Plan Committee are John Campbell Moore, Robert Hale, Matt Jones, Celia Kimberley and Julie Trucker. Okay, thank you very much. Oh yeah, Peter just like to announce, well he was chairman last time and he just got voted on again. The next meeting for that devolution
Is Wednesday 27th at 10 o'clock.
Could you repeat that? Sorry.
Wednesday 27th at 10 o'clock in Council Office.
Wednesday 27th.
You should all have a copy of that. I circulate it through WhatsApp, so I'll need your WhatsApp details.
Sorry, Peter, I don't have WhatsApp.
You
No, but you communicate.
Oh, she's got it. Oh, you've sorted it.
Peter, sorry, you haven't got mine either.
I will send it to you by email. But if somebody else wants to stand in the chair, I'll
Yeah, what happened? She took over from me, but while I took a break. Sharon took over from me while I took a break. She did, and when I come back, it was agreed by the committee that Sharon could continue.
More the merrier, but I think now we've got that many, we're going to have to squash and get in there, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah. The meeting might not be at the council offices. Depends.
You'd have it here, couldn't you? Could we have it here?
Oh, don't worry, we'll work that out near the time. And the next committee is personnel. We've got, on the personnel committee, we have 5 members only, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. So you've all got your voting slips. So 5 people only, please. 5 people only. Oh. Just your information, I'll discuss it with Joe. The vote we've just taken will reduce it to 5. How many supposed to be on there? Is it 5 supposed to be on there? Sorry, Joe. Yeah, so that'll reduce it to 6, and then we'll have another vote to reduce it to 5. Okay? That's the way it works. So
Democracy at play.
Yeah, I know.
It should only apply really because the time
the Worcestershire Calc needs 2 members. John Clapworthy and Judy Tucker put their names forward, so there will be no election on that. John Martin's charity.
vote on that.
And there's that one on that one. Yeah. Their volunteers. Yeah. Their volunteers charity. We've just got John Clapworthy, so there's no election needed on that. We have 2 names. We only had 1 application on that.
Yeah, but the 2 seats.
Pardon?
There are 2 seats for that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Is anybody
What is it
want
for?
to be on Vale Volunteers Charity? Anne, yeah, that's it. We'll add you to that. Anne Lyons. Thank you, Anne. The next one is the estate charity of John Rush, and there's 2 members needed for that, and the members on here are Stan Rotherton and Chrissy Smith, both of whom are not here, but there's no other people put the name forward for that, so they're elected through as well. Evesham District Mental Health Charity, we only have 1 member going for that, and John Clapworthy's put his name forward for that.
I did go for it.
Untested.
He said they did for the council.
Evesham Relief in Need Charity, 2 members. We've got Rob Raphael put his name forward. Evesham Relief in Need Charity. Does anyone else wish to put their name forward to go on that? Yeah. Patrick, will you go forward on that? So there'll be Robert Raphael and Patrick. Yeah. And they go on the testing. Oh, that no.
Yeah.
Wallace House, Smedley Trust Board, no election needed. Mark Coombs, 1 member only needed. Vale Bus and Rail, 2 members only needed. Anne Lyon and Julie Tucker, no election needed. Cross Parish Psychopath, guess who?
Donald doing it.
No, thank you.
Standing Orders and Financial Regulations Working Group, 4 members only. There's Stan Bolton and Mark Gooch. Does anybody else particularly want to put their name forward? John.
What was the name of the group again?
Standing Orders and Financial
You've been
Regulations.
right in there,
Go on,
Roberto.
Roberto.
Am I on that? If nobody else put the name forward for that, I would like to go on that. So, Bill. There'll be no election needed. 4 members only.
Yeah. Robbie's been waiting.
Remember.
Sorry, Robert. My deputy didn't know you were
We've already done
That's
this.
his job.
The same
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to talk to Wallace House. Wallace House is a complicated job. It's a major committee. By the time you've sat there for a year, you've just about learned all the staff name, you've just about learned the layout of the building, you've just about learned the accounts, and then you have to get kicked off and we re-elect. Can I propose that this council suggests to the Wallace House Board that that appointment is for 4-year term? I don't mean today. Tonight will tidy up the end of this council, but from the next council, it's a 4-year term.
Yes, Mark.
The Wallace House Trust Board has already considered this and will be requesting that as from next year, from the start of the new electoral cycle.
Why don't you
So-
just
Mr. Mayor,
vote
clearly
on it
great
now?
minds think alike.
Oh, you just give it to...
Huh? Why don't you just vote on it now?
Maybe ask at the end of the year.
Right, okay, what was the term? Right, so you need to announce that, this is a personnel vote, the first personnel vote, okay? And, this person did not get through. Yes, everyone needs to cross that out,
Okay. The Personnel Committee, we've got to take it, and we've still got one too many, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, we've still got one too many, so if we take off the one that got the least last time, which is Matt Jones, if you cross him off your list, and then we've still got to take another vote, because there's only 5 on the committee, please. So would you put your marks again?
We've got to do this
Is
again,
that
haven't we?
mine?
Make sure you do cross Matt Jones.
Just
Yeah.
pick in 5. No, this is difficult because I voted for it. So, I still vote for the same 4.
Yeah, you can vote before we don't have to.
Oh, right. Oh, right. Yeah, I see your point. Yeah.
You don't vote on one block.
Not far off. No, I just got to do one more, 2 more. Yeah, no, get them all in.
Everyone's saying with me.
So you pass
Oh,
them all
oh.
down.
Do you accept the crossing out or do you want to get up and before?
No, as long as it's very clear.
Miss, she's copying me, miss.
Can I just wrap my arms around this group?
So we've got all those in there. Oh, that's it. Right, there's 2 more committees, and one is Smith Memorial Collection Trust. We only need 1 member on there, and Stan has volunteered for that. So that goes on uncontested. And Vale Volunteers, John Clackworthy. We should begin with that.
You've done that one. Done that one, look.
Good cake.
John Martin.
I think that's a very good idea. Great happening.
Who is it? Only one can. Who is it? Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Wait for that last stage. That's only just one bit. Oh, did you say that?
Well, let's just do a race of hands. Joe.
There's 2 for 1. So you can show hands to the
Well, first of all, I'll just ask if anybody wants to come in. We got the John Martin, the only one we haven't covered so far is John Martin Charity, and we only need 2 members to be on the John Martin Charity. We've got Marion Griffith, John Clapworthy, and Peter Schofield.
Excuse me, I'm automatically on. I stay on because I'm all. It's
Yeah,
only between John and.
yeah.
Okay, so
So we've got John and Peter. You both happy having a vote? Nobody wants to vote. Okay. Okay, that's all, isn't it? Oh, okay.
Just have a show of hands.
Show of hands.
Yeah, okay then.
no. Ballot, please.
Yeah. We've got, anybody else want a ballot?
You proposing?
Yeah, and a second.
No, second.
Yeah, second, yeah. And any more a ballot voting for it? Yeah.
Propose to vote for paper ballots, right?
Yeah, paper ballot. Hands up so Clark can see it all, please.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, so we can go
I'm going to vote for pistol.
I'm okay with this. What day was it?
I'm just saying this is anything else you can do. Can you do it? You start first. Oh,
I'll tell you what we're going to do, the starting of one and maybe the middle of that on and the next.
yeah. Let's just get rid of all this paper we covered.
No, any other business we can get out of the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
This is almond. Well, let's just see if somebody wants to do it, and then they can do it. Where's that? We do it. I just kiss that for, so thank you. Yeah.
Just put that.
But we got on to this following the agenda. Yeah, well, that's it.
I see you sent us some good evening reading, Joe.
No,
Yeah. 406 pages. Yeah.
Okay. We're just jumping forward now on item 9. Sorry.
So,
No, D. That's it. D. Up to item 7D. Reconstitution of an almonry panel.
we haven't
We
got
haven't
it.
got a D.
Sorry. Hang on. I don't know what.
but no D.
No D.
I'm just a C. We ran out of fingers.
I didn't type it, honestly.
Well, okay, we'll leave that. Nobody else got it, we can't vote on it, they never want it. Nobody had notice
I
of it.
didn't see it on
That's
the
the
vote
only
as
change.
well.
It doesn't matter, that much.
Did you see the arm and the duty of the vote?
Yeah.
I don't remember commenting on it or seeing it.
Okay, the Personnel Committee is, as elected, is Mike Allen, John Clapworthy, Mark Googe, C.D. Kimberley and Anne Lyon. Thank you.
I thought it was only
Is that
4
all
members.
registered then?
Yeah, 8.
Right, so the Ombury, what the chairman's referring to is on the document that talks about terms of reference of the committees. I believe there is a line that says that one person is needed for the Ombury. Is that
For
right?
reporting.
For reporting purposes on the Ombury. If you recall, we used to have a working group that was expanded because it worked, and we had a single person to essentially do the liaison and report if necessary. So, Mr. Chairman, do you want to take over and ask us if you want to do that role?
Well, if you think it's okay, we'll keep that role then, as Peter's pointed out. Is there any volunteer that wishes to do that reporting job? Nobody wants to do it.
What does it entail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does it entail?
When do they meet?
And when
During the day.
Reporting on the works of the armoury.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
liaise with
yeah.
the Ombury and being,
Yeah.
yes.
And it doesn't, because I dropped out last year because it required daytime meetings.
Yeah.
Well, I would think it would want daytime meetings. Yeah, I would think so. You have to go down there and inspect the work, where it is actually in office hours, and see what's going on. Do you want to do
To
it
be
right?
honest, I don't see
Chair,
the
as I'm
point.
sort of involved anyway in one way or another.
You are.
We get a report probably 2 or 3 times last year
Yeah,
off Ashley
yeah,
directly. I
yeah.
don't see the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try and do that.
That's it. It's just, if anything pops up and Ashley wants to liaise, just try and do it. Rob can do it. Okay, can we put Rob down there?
But look forward to Ashley's little cha-cha-chas.
What's wrong with Roberto's?
He goes on and on and on.
Hot and black comes to mind. Sorry.
Thank you for that, Bill.
Yeah, good, isn't it? Okay.
John Moore.
Yes, Ed.
John Martin vote?
John Martin. Have we got the results?
Just put the, there's only 2 names, just put a name, one name on a piece of paper.
Okay, I'll hand a sheet of paper around. It is one of the other slips, so just write it on the back, please. Do not look on the front. Just write the name of the person that you wish.
Thank you.
Yes, could you just remind us who
Just
the
do
candidates are?
That was doing exactly what
Give it
it
to keep it.
Any time for the names?
Yes.
Remind you of the names, Peter Skirfield and John Clapworthy.
Thank you.
Thank you. And it's a John Martin charity, which is based in Hampton.
Sorry, actually, I'm running out. There we go.
Should be handling this.
Yeah. I don't like single-handed shuffling. See how we go.
Thank you.
while we're just doing that, okay, quickly, we're going to item 9, review of staff-council subscriptions. Here's where I test you whether you've done your homework. Have you read them?
Yeah.
Any of this?
Yes.
Have you all read it? Okay.
I'd like to propose, Mr. Chairman,
Thank you. And a seconder. Okay, all in favour?
What's this for?
Yeah.
Hang on, we're not talking about it.
Item 9, review of annual subscriptions to the council. It's straightforward, this is.
Okay.
Could someone clarify what we get out of the Worcestershire County Association?
They are the body that advises the council on local government matters and also from now. So we have the opportunity to use the templates that the now provide and access to their legal topic notes, which are incredibly useful. They're and includes the money includes both of them. Yeah.
And you've just appointed people to the committee.
So it's incredibly useful.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They tell us updating local government law, provide advice, tell us when there's a new regulation that we need to know about.
So we better improve it.
So you're not changing the money.
and clarify, you used it quite a bit, haven't you, the last year?
Sounds like it.
The result for the John Martin charity is Peter Script. The next item on the agenda is review of the standing orders and financial regulations. Joe, do you want to go through the financial regulations first?
No, just
It's still fairly straightforward, isn't it?
What you're looking at, what's been circulated is the updated version from 2024. So that is the latest version from now. So there's not much to do on those.
thank you for the update. Said thank you for the update. Can we move it on?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Is there any comments on that? There's nothing changed before. Sorry, John.
With regards to the standing orders,
We're not on that yet. We finished with the financial regulations now, have we? No comments on that yet. Okay. The standing orders. If you wish to make comment, I wanted to make a few comments myself over that, but you just go ahead.
I think it was about 2 years ago, there was a group of 4 that were agreed to look at that. They've been looked at in part, but getting the group together to put a report together to put to council has not happened. So some of the work has been done and can be brought forward depending upon how the council want to look at it and whether they want to keep those same 4 people or however many you wish to have and where you wish to go forward from that.
Okay. Well, if you've got a working group, that'd be great. But without being sarcastic, you didn't think that it would work. So, just to carry on a minute, there was a few amendments or a few little corrections I'd like to make and a few comments. We've all had these when we joined the council, standing orders, and there's a couple of little discrepancies. One was, let me have a look. On which number is it now? Well, rules and debates at the meeting. Item T down the bottom. Excluding motions above unstated, contributions and speeches by councillors shall relate only to the motion under discussion. That's very straightforward. And shall not exceed 5 minutes. Sorry, I think 5 minutes is far too long. So I think we need to just adjust that to 3 minutes. That's
point of order, Chairman. We can't vote on a change to these without having the changes first put forward to us in writing. If you'd like to propose that, if you'd like the review group to bring that forward, but we can't change the standing orders without having the suggested changes put forward in writing first.
Well, that's what. Okay, yeah. I'll accept what you're saying, but I'd like a discussion so that we know what to put forward. I mean, I can't just do it on my own. Yes, Lord.
Mr Mayor, I'm not sure if I need some sort of Groundhog Day. Did we not just appoint a standing order group?
We have.
Yeah.
So it's their job to do this.
Quite right. I'm not on that group, I haven't heard it being
Volunteer to
meeting.
be on that group, I'm sure you do.
Yeah. But when was the meeting? Sorry. I'm just trying to bring this up so that we don't have long, detailed discussions about something we don't want to hear about. We just want to keep it to 3 minutes. If the recommendation I was going to make, but it's actually everything's worked okay tonight, we can hear everybody and the microphones aren't working. Because I was going to suggest that when anybody wants to make a comment, they stand so we can all hear. But I don't think it's necessary, so I haven't put that forward. But I think the 3 minutes, and there's also, I think it's something we need to put to the working group then. These are suggestions to put to the working group. And if anybody else has any suggestions, I'll take them in a minute. That's it. Julie's got her hand up. And there was something else. Oh,
mind if I ask you a question at this point? How are you going to police that?
Oh.
Short answer.
We have the technology.
And there was another bit that said the meeting should not, just to confirm, any meeting should not go on longer than 2.5 hours. And I just put out a small warning, no meeting's going to go over that, please. I don't want it to go over that, and we shall have to adjourn if necessary. Okay? Apart from that, there's nothing else. Sorry, Julianne.
Can I just clarify that once the working group have got their suggestions and ideas put forward in that we're going to vote on each of those in turn? That's not just implemented automatically in there. I just want to make sure that we get to vote on that.
There will be an opportunity.
There will be an opportunity, yeah.
Put the recommendations to the council.
That's what I thought. I just wanted that clarified.
Sorry, Mark.
Yeah, one of the things I would say that our standing orders are now a little outdated, and the NALC model standing orders now differ quite a bit from them. So the working group, as before, was minded to simply recommend that we move en bloc to the latest version of the NALC standing orders with necessary minor amendments that suit this council. Now, obviously, that would need to be voted for en bloc because it wouldn't be a simple change of wording within single items. But that's another reason why this needs to be a lengthy process, because if we're going to do that, we need to circulate a full suggest recommended new wording so that people can then, if they have any specific issues with any points on that wording, come back with minor changes to individual points on that, if that makes sense.
Could we also see the new changes as well?
Well, yeah, when this comes to council, you'll get initial, I mean, I would expect this to be a two-stage process. One will be a recommended wording from the working group, which will be based on the NALC model standing orders.
Yeah.
And then the second stage will be to people to give their feedback on that recommended, and then with the view to then adopting the recommendations plus any changes at a subsequent council meeting.
Yeah, well that's what, so, yes, John.
Just a clarification also, and I'm sure Mark will correct me if I'm wrong. My understanding is everything in that document, standing orders that is involved, is by statute and cannot be altered without authority from now.
Yeah.
From government.
Yeah. And that's what the working group will define. They know all that. So, what we'll do is, who's the chairman of the working group? Well, I'd like to say, when can we get the working groups together and we can discuss these things so that we can get this.
It's a group that works mostly by email, since 90% of it is reading and writing documents.
Yeah.
And that's a lot easier to do by email than talking over a table.
Yes. Okay. Well, we'll sort that out. Okay. Item 11.
It's in here. Now what I need is the updated version and the old version so I can compare them. Do you see what I mean? And what changes I would go for.
Yeah, okay. The motion really has turned into the working group. Can we have a proposal that the working group sort this out and have a look at it in detail? Anne and John, propose it and second it. All those in favour, please? Okay, that's unanimous. Thank you. And the working group will sort that out in due course. Right, then you've got item 11, read the adoption general power of competence. Yeah.
I refer the members to the report that was circulated.
I propose that we re-adopt the general power of competence.
Second.
Second. Who's Mark was first, ladies first, and Julie seconded it. Okay. All those in favour, please.
Yeah, it's a really good thing to have.
That's it, thank you, that's the unanimous. Okay. Number 12, review of asset register. Your position, Julia.
Yes, now, that's gone round. There was a few minor changes. Now, last year we talked about this, or in the recent past, and we talked about the statue in the Market Square. Was it insured? Who did it belong to? So I've made some investigations. I've spoken to the artist by email. He's given me an estimate of the value, the replacement value, I should say. He's also recommended that we get an independent valuer who's familiar with his work to value it. That's fine, he's certainly somebody. That's in process as well. When we've got all that information, then we'll go to the insurer and get that sorted out. Now, what I'm also doing is I've contacted Bale magazine, who led on the installation of the statue, just to check with them, if they have any record of what the original arrangements were, if it was gifted, if another authority is responsible, just to rule out the fact that we're not going to insure something that's already insured by somebody else. So it doesn't appear on the asset register at the moment, or if it does, I think I've written the value of £1, which is the annual return value, because it's a community asset. But I haven't filled in the insurance value because that has yet to be done.
Can we clean it then?
Well, the artist says that the sculpture is the colour that it wants to be, and you wouldn't normally clean
No,
it.
right. It's just Councillor Dyke asked me to clean it.
You'd wash off any dirt or any bird mess or any grime, but you wouldn't generally take off the patina.
Right.
It's certainly, it's possibly
Wouldn't carry out the brasso
washing
then?
the stone at the bottom, which is the
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at, the stone.
So we've got to have that insured, surely.
If it is ours.
Yeah, it is ours, so we've got to insure it, we've got to get a valuation there on it. Yeah, well that needs to be in due course because some fellow there won't come along and ask you and sitting on the back of his ticket and scrap it. That's it, Mark, yeah.
Yes, but basically, yes, that's the process we're going
So, there's a sense of urgency there, I think. Yeah, sorry.
Since we're about to take some time in the next month, 2 months, possession of where we are now, what comes that go on the asset register and get insured?
Well, it's on the asset register provisionally now, but there's no insurance value. But if it turns out to be the council's, well, there's no other obvious owner, which is what we decided last time. Sorry. Sorry, question again, Mark.
Yes. At what point do we put the town hall where we are at the moment on the register and gauge it?
Well, it's been valued. It was valued when we did our valuation last time. So we've got an up-to-date valuation on it. It will go on as soon as I get confirmation from which even if it is ours. It doesn't need to come to a vote. It doesn't need to be discussed. It will automatically go on.
Are we also putting together a maintenance package for the town hall?
We will be. Yes.
Because what I don't want to see is this asset left on its own to try and struggle again. I think we as a council, once we own it, we put in a proper maintenance contract so this building is preserved for the future.
Well, we've already started, when PJK were failing and we apply the law to them and we were allowed to pitch on. We did, we have done gutters.
Yeah, and listen, I commend you on the work that you, Peter, and Sharon have already done.
Did you want to say something? Sorry, did you want to say something? Sorry, beg on.
Yes, please.
Or the working committee's done.
In connection with the fund for the public hall, did you not just say that the 87...
Town hall?
Sorry, the town hall. Did you not just say that the 87,000 SIL receipt will be put against the maintenance costs for that? Because obviously we did not, at the time of budget, know that we were receiving the 87,000. So we precepted on the assumption that you weren't going to get it, or we weren't going to get it. So the receipt of the 87,000 in the SIL should actually now go towards the town hall.
It's for the restoration. So rather than maintenance, it's for the restoration of the town.
As opposed to restoration and maintenance, what would you significantly see the difference as?
Because the restoration is basically repair, whereas the ongoing maintenance would have to do every single year. So it's part of an annual arrangement, an annual cost. We'd have to explain what that is.
So what is the £87,000 for? Restoration or repair? For this
repair.
Repair?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's fine, thank you.
And that's, just as a comment, as far as maintenance goes, got to get repairs done first and get in good order.
Yes,
before we start worrying about maintenance.
Exactly.
It's not about worrying about maintenance. We haven't worried about maintenance for 30 years. This is why we're in the position we are.
Oh, John, with due respect, we've got to do repair first and not up to scratch.
I appreciate that, but it's more, as is important, but
We can't really fix, we can't really reasonably maintain the windows because
I appreciate that, Joe. I appreciate there's some things you can't.
Is everybody, sorry, John?
Just looking down, just to pick out the regalia.
Yeah.
It's got Mayoral Road as a purchase cost. It's just in singular. But does that include the Deputy's Road and all of the Councillors' Roads?
They're on the next page.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Anne.
That's all right.
Thank you.
So I missed that, Anne. What was that?
Just saying that the Deputy Mayor's Road and the other councillors' roads are all on the page after this one.
Oh, right, there you go. Right. There you go, that's answered that. Right, if everybody accepts these recommendations, can we have a vote, please? Show of hands for. That's unanimous, I think. Yeah. Thank you. The next item is insurance cover. This is fairly straightforward, but we definitely can't defer this. Insurance cover annual review and renewal. Joe, I'll go to you again.
So 13 part 1 annual review, the schedule has gone round, and part 2 is the actual renewal for the coming year. The current insurance runs out at the end of this month. So on the pink paper you'll find the costs. Now you can do a 1 year renewal or 2 year renewal, or 3 year renewal, sorry. There's a price incentive for a 3 year renewal. It's actually lower than we paid for the current for the last year.
Is that 3 lots of 13,000?
Yes, exactly.
So basically, we need the insurance. So the question is, do we do it for 1 year or should we do it for the 3 years with the discount? Any proposals?
It's an £8,000 saving.
Sorry, Bob first.
Yes, there's a typo on the bottom of page 4. The date is a nonsense. And if it's a legal document, it should be correct. That would be correct.
I understand. Okay, so what that means is it's poorly written. The renewal applies for to the 31st of the 3rd, 2026 and the 31st of the 3rd, 2027. It's actually a 2 year agreement.
Right, well, it needs better
it needs to be written.
Yeah.
I'll make them.
Thank you for your observation.
The next question coming in.
Oh, so, well, yeah, go on, let's just see,
Page 5.
Yeah.
What would business of interruption, how would that apply in our case?
COVID.
Well, if we had a giant water leak, for example, or if there was a hack, or things like that, things that stop.
Within the buildings, okay. Yeah. Okay. The next question is, Benjamin's water fountain is insured, that's ours, understandably. Do we own the land it sits on?
The Benjamin water fountain. I don't think so. It's probably a highway.
Yeah. Interesting question, isn't it? Because it was historically the town land.
I assume it was part of the verge that went off the highway.
Yeah. It's an interesting question about these bits of land that
I think that might be answered in a couple of years when we have the new council. One minute, I'll let Councillor Matt.
Mine's proposal.
Yeah, okay, carry on.
The next question is, we're also on a 3-year contract. The joint work on the almonry is covered as well.
Yes.
But it should be finished in 2. So would that mean we'd get a reduction on the 3rd year?
No, actually we've paid for it all at once. We've paid for it already. It's on the renewal, so we have to. It's on
Okay.
but it's actually we paid for it upfront, which we have to. So that was actually separate. That's not part of this.
Okay, right. Okay.
That's actually separate. We paid for it.
Okay. Fair enough.
No, here we go, Matt.
So I'll propose that we go for a 3-year renewal.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay,
second that.
second. All those in favour? That looks unanimous. Okay. Thank you very much. So
And £8,500 saving. Thank you very much to Jim.
And
Might
then
have
on
some
item
council champagne.
14, complaint procedure and review of policies.
Mr. Chairman, I see no reason to make any comment about my proposal, please.
You like to propose it, seconder?
And I'm just going to ask the question, are there any amendments to them?
There have been actually. No.
Then they are as is and current.
Yeah.
Then I will second Councillor Henry.
Sorry, Mark. You want to?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I was going to say I see no reason to make any changes to these. I will say that as and when the standing orders get updated, some of these policies may need to be updated in line with the new standing orders, but so that will all come as a package as and when we do it. There's no need to make any changes to the policies in the meantime.
Can I ask Bill, we signed this new pledge and all, is this part of this new, is that part of it as well?
That was delegated to one of the committees. So I think the civility and respect pledge and the dignity at work policy, which was created as a result of that vote, they are delegated to personnel committee.
Right,
Personnel
right.
committee covers staff and also policies that concern people, basically. So pricing policies. It's on the document that says that.
Thanks, Steph.
Thank you. So, can we have a show of hands on that? We've got a proposer and seconder. All those in favour? And that looks unanimous as well. Thank you. Right, complaint review of. That's it. We've done all those, haven't we? Yeah. Item 15 on the agenda, almond restoration project. And I suppose we're going to ask Ashley to step in here.
Mr. Chairman, on this, I don't see a separate report on the part of work. I see the one on the artwork, I understand. So I hadn't see one on the
Fantastic
part of work.
We've been looking for this wallpaper, 16th century.
This was agreed.
No,
This
I
was
think
agreed at
it
the last
would
meeting.
be quite a
So,
showpiece.
on the wood specialist, that was agreed at the last meeting.
Is that it?
So, just at this point, actually, as soon as we've got all some free paper, and no members of the public here, we could ask Julie, unless people are feeling too hot, if you shut the door, just in case somebody wants to go. That's it.
Oh.
Okay. So we're going to go into closed session.
We need a vote.
Sorry.
I don't think we need to go in closed session over this.
No,
Do you?
let's do it properly.
We don't need to go into private session so long as people are capable of referring to things in the confidential documents without actually reading them out. That's fine. We can make the decisions based on them without needing to go into confidential session, so long as people are prepared to be careful what they say.
So if you talk about the contractor and you talk about the value, you should know.
Yeah. Just to try and get this in the book a little bit. Ashley's obviously done a lot of work on this, and it's been recommended this person, and sort of semi-agreed before, we just need council approval. Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah, so, sorry, excuse me. Good evening, Council. Yeah, so I came to you a couple of months ago where we looked at the private works for the roofing element of the Omni restoration. This is a very similar thing in that it's a very specialist piece of work. The contractor in question is a known expert in this field. So we're just coming to you basically, just gain permission and just directly contract this person to carry out this piece of work in line with the Omni restoration project.
Okay, thank you, Ashley. And at the end of the day, thank you for keeping us informed on what's going on and up to date on all this, because we do need to be on top of it. Yes, John?
I propose, Bill, that we accept that.
Yeah. A second, please. Yeah. Mike Downs. All those in favour, please. It's very straightforward. Yeah, that's unanimous. Thank you. Thank you. Everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bill, can I lead on
Yeah,
this?
papers over it, okay. So? Yeah. I mean.
Bill, can I lead on 16, please?
Yes, we're come down to item 16, but let me just put a brief resume on this before you comment.
Do you have to?
Oh, 15 part 2, I beg pardon. Oh, we've got a consideration of the appointment of a specialist conservation of ancient wall paintings. Yeah. So I thought that was sort of involved in the same thing.
I thought that's what we were voting on.
Yeah, so
This bloke
there was two proposals. The first proposal was for the timber frame and the infill panel work. The second proposal is for a conservator to come in and to look at the wall paintings that we just discovered. I've reported to you before on the wall paintings. I think some of you have actually seen the wall paintings themselves. Since I prepared this report, there has been a couple of changes. I did state in the report that the work will be carried out in late June, early July. The listed building consent has gone out for public consultation. That consultation period doesn't finish until the 3rd of June, and we don't think that there is time to get the LBC in place before the time is allocated. Unfortunately, the conservator is probably going to be in Egypt for 3 months working on wall paintings there. So at the moment we've got a date in December penciled in, but it may be that there is some time in September or October that they become available. So I am applying for a grant for this that will cover the majority of it. We would just have to put in 10% match funding. So it's a substantial saving. If the council agrees this proposal this evening, I'll put the grant in tomorrow, and I should get a decision on that in early July as well.
Sure.
Can you tell, how are they being preserved at present?
Oh, can you speak up?
Sorry, I said, how are they being preserved now at present? Because obviously they're open to the elements.
They are open to the elements.
So to move on this would be pretty quick then?
Well, I mean, we can only move as quickly as the conservatory is available and the money is available.
Is there nothing we can do to protect this? Because I think this is going to be quite cultured for Evesham in the future.
Yeah, I mean, we can look at putting some kind of sheeting, but we need to be careful because the last thing we want to do is put something over that retains moisture or anything. And,
I mean, obviously you take advice on that anyway.
I'm sure the specialists will be doing this to the best of their ability.
Absolutely.
Emma.
Yeah, I have two questions. One actually related to 15.1. the value in that was from the existing funds, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah.
That's fine, that's what I just think, okay. And the other one is again financial, but I won't refer to details. Refers to the 10%. Is the figure identified in the report the 10% or is that the 100%?
The larger figure is the
proposal then.
Let me.
Yeah. Because it's for 10 days.
Yeah, so that figure there, where it says cost estimate and that figure in the bold, that is the full amount.
That is the full amount.
That is the full amount.
And we need
so
to put 10%
we will
of
need
it.
10% of that, the rest of it on the final grant funding.
Thank you.
Yeah, just thinking, having read the report in detail, which is obviously very thorough, clearly the work needs to be done in order to establish how these wall paintings are going to be preserved. And having just heard that the lady in question is going to Egypt for 3 months to deal with presumably rock painting, paintings in Egyptian tombs and the like, she is obviously very much at the top of the profession rather, and if we can get her, then we should have her.
Yeah, I agree with that. Rather than actually in contacting her or getting her.
For 3 months.
So all in favour of accepting those proposals? Oh, sorry, you proposed it. Sorry, I forgot you proposed it.
I proposed it.
John proposed it. You seconded it. Was it Anne?
It wasn't me.
No.
Matt.
Okay. So all in favour, please. Sorry about that. There you go. That's it. Right.
Thank you, Ash, for all you do.
Then we've got quite a contentious issue now, 16, collections for bands in the park. If you're not familiar, if you're not familiar with this, for the people that haven't been there to bands in the park, they haven't heard all the rhetoric that's been going on about it. When the band in the park first started, I forgot his name now. Who was the band leader that did it? Derek Wells. Yeah, he did collect some money towards going towards the bands originally, and but on his passing and everything, his daughter carried on the function, but the town council took it over and maintained the payments for the bands, and it is now a council-run item. The bands don't go around collecting any money for themselves, they are paid to go there by the council for the pleasure of and entertainment of the Evesham and surrounding districts entertainment. And very worthy cause. We, as a council, asked permission from Wychavon to use the park, which is not under our jurisdiction yet, to use the park, which they control, and they kindly let us use the park for the purpose of this. It is not considered a charity event. It is not a carnival. It is not anything else. If any money has been collected from the mayor's funds in the past, that was previous mayors. But as far as I know, it hasn't really been on any agenda that any charity collections have been going on. I'll take a note of that. John's on, and then you want to be on. And then in between all this, a man who collected some money for Derek Bruce, I call him Derek Bruce. So anyway, the man who collected it continued collecting money for the Scouts. Unfortunately, as time progresses and things overlooked and shoved under the carpet and not bothered with. The thing that concerns me most of all is we are there at the discretion of Wychavon. Wychavon have got their rules and regulations, and if you wish to collect money for charities, you need to be regulated. You need to do the job properly. I have some experience in collecting for charities, and as you may know, I organised a car boot sale in Stratford-on-Avon. the only people that collect money for charity on that car route there are the poppy people. And there's one lady that comes around who is the bona fide person in that area to collect money for poppy. If anybody else comes who's with a charity and they want to, I'll just give you an example. They want a free pitch on my public sale, they have to bring a letter from the charity, the organisation, with all their numbers, a letter from the chairman saying they are selling goods on behalf of that. And I allow them a pitch for one day. And that, they have to be a bona fide charity, and they have to be a bona fide collector, and they cannot walk around the car boot sale, or they can't walk around anywhere collecting money willy-nilly. This is not as it used to be in the old-fashioned carnivals, people walking along with a bucket. Those days are gone. The gentleman in concern has done a very good job. He's been a good representative of the Scouts, and I've known him as the Scouts Master as long as I've known him. But unfortunately, he's had a good run for his money, but unfortunately we're in a newer era now, and Witchaven do need to be given the qualifications to do this. The only way I can see around this is that if he gets his form from Witchaven, even if he gets that, he cannot walk around that entertainment area with a bucket in, sorry John, with a bucket in his hand, because that is illegal. We turned a blind eye, we shoved it under the carpet, but unfortunately, I'm it now, so I'm in charge now, so I've got to remedy this. That's what's on the agenda. You cannot do it like that. If he gets the licence, he can have a stand in the high street or wherever. It has to be a designated place where he sits on his table with his charity things and does it like that. That is the rules, and that's how it's supposed to be done. We as a council cannot be seen to be condoning something that is illegal. We can't be seen to be condoning it and letting it go. Right.
Thanks for that endorsement, Bill.
Sorry, 1 minute. I've got a question here that says the council is asked if it supports third-party organisations fundraising for their organisations and the bands in the park. Well, my own opinion on fundraising for the bands in the park is if we had an event there last year when it was the D-Day celebrations, and there was 1 or 2 stalls there collecting money for their charity and doing displays about the D-Day thing. This, in my mind, is an entertainment for the pleasure of the visitors and the people of Evesham. And I really don't think they need to be harassed while they're just having an afternoon, somebody coming around asking for money. If there is a stall set up somewhere, maybe by the cafe or by the swings or whatever, but we are not collecting money for the band, we pay for the band, we do it for the entertainment of the people of Evesham. Now, John wants to say something on it, and then Mark. Sorry, and then Mark. John and then Mark. Sorry, John.
Bill, thanks for that. There was no need for that.
No,
you know what I mean? You should have allowed us as councillors put our sides across without your opinion, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well,
Right. Firstly, right, Kipper, right, he's been doing it 40 years. Right? No council ever stuck their nose in before. Right? 75 years I found out that man has donated his life to the Scouts. Right? It's been painted that he's my friend. I've only known him 2 years. I only got involved in this when there was an aspect to stop Kipper. This has become personal. Now I've agreed with the clerk. What we're going to do is get Kipper a licence. And I'm going to ask you to not you, the Scouts are going to, the Scouts are going to get him a licence. Okay? So we can allow this old man to carry on doing what he's done for the last 70 years. We as a council should not ever put ourselves in a way to stop somebody with as all I can say is a local character, right, is known for his goodness. He is known for helping the children of this town. And for us to throw a rule book at a 93-year-old man, I'm sorry, is a little bit disgusting. But I appreciate that the rules now must be followed, because a certain councillor threw this into the middle of the pile. Now, me and Joe last year, when this came up, Kipper already had agreed that he will not go round and shake the tin, and actually sat there all last year with his board and his tin. Because this was never about the money. This was about Kipper getting out of bed at 93 years of age and coming and doing something for the kids of this town. Now, what we should be doing as a council is looking at that and doing everything we possibly can to ascertain that man can carry on doing it.
Okay.
Right? So, hang on, I have not finished. 3 minutes, please. Right? Now, I'm going to ask you all tonight, yes, please vote for allow somebody else to collect down there, because this is, I feel, is now the only way. I've been talking to Kipper, I've been talking to the clerk, and we're going to try and facilitate and follow the Witchaven rules, right? Which I still feel is a bit much for a 93-year-old man. So we are going to obviously have to help him. And what I would like to bring as a part of amendment, that we as a council do everything we can to facilitate that this man can carry on. Thank you.
Well,
yeah, there's 2 points. First, interestingly, it doesn't apply if you do the, like on a sum up machine through a direct debit. Doesn't count.
What doesn't count?
The collection.
So you go around with a sum up machine, asking people to,
as I understand it, yeah,
to render their
but
more
important, I think we should apply Rule 17A of the Witchaven regulations, which I'm sure you know intimately.
No. Go on then, off you go.
These regulations shall not apply, A, in respect of a collection taken at a meeting in the open air.
Thank you, Rob.
Is it a meeting though?
It's a meeting.
And the bands in the park is purely, clearly a meeting.
Well, it's not.
No.
You're not only asking people in the meeting to donate, you're asking everybody else to donate.
Well, people are meeting to listen to bands in the park.
Good point. Good point.
How do you define a
A
meeting?
meeting is people where you're asking people that are invited to the meeting.
Let's ask the lawyer here. What's his resolution?
Hang on. A meeting is this. In the park, it is not a meeting, it is a gathering of people for entertainment. It is not a meeting
It
as such.
specifically says in the open air, in the regulation.
Yeah, okay.
There's free collections all over the open air, rules do not apply.
Anyway, sorry. Next
Yeah,
point.
just Rob, sorry, I need to explain this. I have checked this with licensing officers. A meeting in the open air would mean something like an open air church service where they have a collection from among the people among themselves. It does not mean a meeting. The bands in the park is not a meeting because anybody can just wander past and join in. It is not a meeting as understood by the policy. I agree that the policy is unclear. As a member of Witchaven's licensing committee, I'm going to see if we can get this looked at and the policy updated. The wording is quite out of date, but bands in the park is not a meeting as meant by this policy.
So you could have an open political meeting where anyone can
Yes.
go along
So
and
no,
raise money.
Rob, a meeting, the exclusion only applies to people where the only people attending the meeting are members of the organisation that the meeting is, who are holding the meeting.
It doesn't say that.
I know it doesn't say that. That's why I want to get changed in the. But as things stand, that exception was intended to apply to churches having open air meetings.
Yeah, but that's not what it says. That's
I
not
know,
what
Rob, never mind what it says, it's how it's interpreted by the law which matters. That it does not cover bands in the park, it does not cover entertainment events in the open air.
Okay.
I just want to finish something else on here first before we go back to this. Because collecting in the park on a Sunday afternoon doesn't fall within the standard remit of the licensing policy, What will happen when a licence is applied for is the first thing that which Evesham will do is ask the town council whether it wants to, whether it agrees with issuing the licence. So I would strongly suggest that people in here do not actually say they want the licence to be given, because otherwise you'll be predetermining yourselves when that comes back to the town council. For now, I would suggest that we simply vote on the general principle of whether or not we want to permit third-party collections at bands in the park as stipulated on the agenda item. Don't say that you will vote in favour specifically of giving Kipper a licence, because you can't say that without predetermining something on a licensing issue which will come back to this council later.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, Mark said exactly what I was about to propose. I think the only question that we are being asked tonight is, do we have an issue with a properly licensed organisation taking a collection at one of our events? And to me that's a binary question, yes or no. Personally the answer is yes, I have absolutely no problem with that at all, and I move that we allow third party collections that are properly licensed to take part at our event in the park.
So we've got Emma, John and Patrick. Patrick last. So Emma.
Again, it was along the lines of subject to any licence, whether that be a street licence or a trading licence. However that licence, that's not for this council to debate, that's a district council authority. The question here is, do we allow any other person to fundraise at our events? And if we set that policy, who are we going to allow? Are we going to allow the defibrillators there? Are we going to allow air ambulance there? Are we going to allow others? So whilst understanding the localism regarding the gentleman that you referred to, if we allow one, we have to allow others.
I agree.
And then what doors do we open at our events? If it wasn't our event, then that's subject to their own licensing conditions. But from a council perspective, I disagree with Robbie Raphael. Open this up will allow other applicants to come forward.
There is an actual way around it, Emma.
Patrick, sorry.
Oh, thank you. Right, I'm going to say first of all that I think Councillor Campbell has spoken very eloquently on the issue. He's spoken, he understands, 100% understands
Thank you,
the story. And I find that very often Councillor Campbell is the person that thinks with his heart, and he does understand people's story. And I certainly understand that. So I think we need to not just rule the head, we need to keep the heart. And so that there is that. It isn't really, I don't think that this is, an issue for us, even it's an issue for Wychavon. And in our own private discussions, the first thing we both said when this came up was, well, we'll sort out a licence for him. Yeah. That was what our initial reaction was. Well, we will do what we can.
I think the scouts are already arranging it.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine, and that's right and proper. Yeah. But if that wasn't, that we were going to say tonight that we would sort that out with him, and happy to do so, and help him as much and support him as much as we can. I think we need to support local effort. Mm-hmm. I think he's obviously
I think what you're saying, Julie, is what we all think is just this debate has made some people step forward and do the job for Kipper, which is admirable. But we've still got to, when he gets a job, we've still got to apply the rules, and you can't walk around shaking a bucket at people.
He doesn't, Bill. That's the point. This is why you don't listen. He's been arranged that he sits there and he doesn't shake the bucket at anybody.
Well, unfortunately,
he doesn't.
On the two occasions that I saw him, he had his umbrella on a table, and then he had a little wander around, and I thought, and I thought, well, somebody else has to sort this out. Now, unfortunately, it's come to my door. So we got to. Oh, sorry, Anne. Beg your pardon. Sorry, Patrick.
Briefly, Councillor Stokes mentioned the question of who else we allow. I think the answer is very simple. If the organisation concerned is a recognised charity and it has the necessary licence, as I understand it, a licence allows a particular organisation to fundraise in this fashion for 1 day a year. We have, I believe, 12 days of bands in the park. We can allow up to 12 organisations, provided they have the necessary licences.
Which raises the next question. They're allowed to raise funds, you said, 1 day a year. 1 day in the season, how often are they allowed to raise funds with their licence?
I can't believe this. The race is 20 quid a year.
Yeah, sorry, it's not more than that.
Can I do a couple more points of
So,
clarification?
sorry, go on, Frank.
I think people are looking at this from the wrong perspective. You should really be looking at who do we not want to collect at the back. And we might like this chap collecting, and we might like the scouts collecting, but you must preserve the right to stop people you don't want to collect. And if you don't have some sort of licensing procedure, well, what's stopping from somebody from a political party collecting that we don't agree about, or another?
Isn't that resolved by this council giving permission?
Please don't interrupt.
Sorry.
Please. I didn't interrupt you. And you are looking at it from the wrong perspective. If fine, this chap, you're quite happy to support him collecting, but he must apply for a licence. Otherwise, we can't refuse other people that turn up. And that's what this, not just the only point of this bill. Bill is not making a personal comment on the scouts. He's just reserving our right to say no to other people that we may not want to approve. And I don't see anything wrong with that.
No, I don't.
But then but that's the point.
No, I said he's already applying for a licence.
You've had a really good say, John. No more. That's it. Sorry, Mark.
Yeah, just a couple more things on the practicalities of it. A licence is for a collection on 1 day, but there's no limit on the number of days you can apply for a licence for. So if you wanted to have a collection on all 12 days that we were having a bounce at the park, he simply submits the licence application 12 times, with the only difference being the date each time. And since it's free to apply for a licence, that's not difficult. You just photocopy your application 12 times.
Yeah.
The other point is worth bearing in mind here that it's not the town council's park, it's Wychavon's park. And if Wychavon grants a licence for somebody to do a charity collection on a Sunday when bands in the park happens to be taking place, there is absolutely nothing that this council can do to stop them.
Yeah. Exactly. Plus the fact that if we allow people to collect without a licence, there's nothing to stop Wychavon withdrawing their permission for us to hold bands in the park. That's what bothers me most of all.
But why didn't they do it for the last 40 years?
It's been overlooked. The trouble is, it's
for 40 years, Bill. 40 years they've overlooked it.
John. If you're going to apply for the licence for the chap, apply for the licence for the chap, and I'm sure we'll be able to collect some money in the correct way at the bands in the park. If anyone else applies, we would then be obliged to accept their offers so long as they've got their soldiers in a line. Also, I would recommend that anybody collecting, Kipper included, has a stand away from the bandstand, not in everybody's face, but just close by, but away, so that people are not harassed or feel as though their pleasure is being disturbed. They can, when we had the D-Day celebration, there were stalls around there and people milled around them, and if they're to stand there and it says Boy Scouts, or it says defibrillators, or it says whatever, people can collect money for charity. And people, but we don't really want to get into that situation. A proposal, sorry, Robbie.
I'm just repeating the proposal I've already made, Mr. Mayor. Do we have an objection? Do we have an objection to a licensed organisation, a registered organisation, carrying out a licensed flag day, as they used to be called, at our event? And in my opinion, the answer is no. We have no objection.
Can I bring an amendment, please?
Yeah.
I believe this is easily solved. We did not have to change the rules whatsoever. All we'd have to do is add Kipper to the Mayor's Charities. Job done.
That's not possible.
Why? 3 mayors have refused me for it, and I can't understand why we can't just add Kipper to the Mayor's Charities. It comes under the rules then that the only charities can collect down there are for the Mayor's Charities. We get him a licence, job done. This is a 93-year-old man.
Excuse me, John. I don't believe, when you say people can collect from the Mayor's Charities, I don't believe it is a set thing that the Mayor's Charities collect money down there.
Well, that's what it says in the rule book, that it's only the Mayor's Charities can collect down there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have to have a licence. But as I say, if Kipper was in that club, we wouldn't have to worry about anybody else.
He can easily get in the club. You get the application for him, and then he can have his stand there, and he can collect money from his stand. Yes, okay. We have a proposal that the council does not object to people with the proper licence having a stand in the park near the bands or near the seats or wherever.
Say a stand.
And not walking
Mr.
around.
Mayor, what you're saying is not proposed.
Not in the proposal.
Can I just say this again? If somebody has a licence, they are entitled to collect in the park.
Yeah.
We cannot tell them what to do. We cannot tell them not to walk around. We cannot tell them not to shake their bucket in people's faces. We cannot tell them where to sit or what to do. It is Whichever's park, not the town council's park. We do not have the right to tell people what they can and cannot do.
That's what's been happening, Mark, I'm sorry.
That is not what you're allowed to do. You are not allowed, if you're collecting for charity, you have a set place where you have to stay and collect it.
But it certainly isn't our place to tell him.
You cannot just go wandering willy-nilly round, sticking your bucket under people's noses instead of enjoying an afternoon out. You can have a stand there, and there's nothing wrong with a bona fide charity and somebody who's got a licence to go down there, put a little gazebo up or something, put their sign up, and people go up and put money in their box. I have got no objection to that. Sorry, John, what were you going to say?
Just to confirm what you were just saying, the papers are attached here for people to read. It clearly states under item 10, paragraph 10, while collecting, a collector shall remain stationary.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the methodology of a person collecting, they have to be in sealed containers, and they have to be then collected, placed at a designated place, opened with more than one person present.
Have an accountant.
You then have an accounting process where
like 20 quid a year.
And they have to be reflected, I presume, in statements of accounts.
So, John.
They also, the individual, we're talking about the individual and their licence, they also have to have an identification.
Yeah.
Kipper's identification is his 75 years being in the Scouts, mate. Everybody in this town knows he's in the Scouts.
That's not an identification.
It is to me, mate.
Well, it may be, but not in law, it is.
And the best thing to do, I'm not going to get involved in this silly argument, what we're going to do is vote.
Excuse me, I object to that being called a stupid argument.
John, we are...
No, it's not your place to call an argument stupid. Thank you. This is actually caused a big row in the council, right?
John.
So it's not a stupid argument.
That's enough, John. This is going on far too long, and the proposal is that we allow people to go down into the bands in the park with a bona fide charities and bona fide certificate from Whitchaven to collect. The vote is, do we allow that? All those in favour? Sorry, we had a proposal. Did we have a second? Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Proposal and second. All those in favour? Do we allow people with a proper certificate and proper things to go in the park? Yes. This council supports charities that wish to go down there and collect. Okay?
sometimes applying the rules to a 93-year-old man don't work for me. I'm sorry. You know, I don't care. You know, we shouldn't be doing this to a 93-year-old man.
We limit the charities that are able to collect to charities which have got a local slant, that have got some benefit to the people of Evesham.
Yeah. Well, they put their proposals to us, and we say, yeah, that's okay, good, isn't it?
You have, the town council has no choice. You've just proposed and accepted, and we've all agreed that third parties can fundraise at the bands in the park. So that is the proposal. We have no choice on who does that, which is the point that Councillor Boyd made earlier on. We have no ratification. The Whichehaven will have a choice over which party or which person can raise funds. You've allowed it to happen.
I think it already happened,
Emma. This council will have an input into Whichehaven's licensing decision, because a collection on a Sunday does not fall within the criteria that is delegated to Whichehaven officers. Therefore, it will need to be made by the licensing subcommittee. Therefore, this council will be one of the statutory consultees. So if they come to us and say, the Scouts would like to fundraise on bands in the park, yes or no, we could say yes or no. If they come to us and say, I don't know, some strange organisation that we've never heard of from Macclesfield or wherever wants to raise funds in the park, we can say we recommend no. I mean, we can't guarantee that Whichehaven will follow that, but our opinion is not normally disregarded when it comes to street collection licences.
Well, that's how Councillor Dyke described it to me. That's how it works. We would still have an input because it being a Sunday.
Yeah, 10 minutes. Anyway, if you've done that, and it's all been accepted, that we will have.
Are we just voting for the Sunday?
In the park, so long as they are done in a proper manner. The next item on the agenda is 10 benches.
So I propose that we accept the offer as proposed in the...
There's a bit more to these benches than it's the route, than just slip it through.
1 minute. You proposed.
Yeah.
Okay. Have we got a seconder?
Hang on.
Right, okay. What do you want to say now, John?
These benches were sorted out 2 years ago, I believe, Joe. Right? We're supposed to get a company in to put roofs in. That was 2 years ago. We got quotes for it. Why hasn't it been done?
Because it's incredibly bespoke and vastly expensive.
But it was passed by council. We had a quote. Council passed it. 2 years down the road, we're still waiting for it. Then benches are now in that state because we've been waiting for 2 years.
Basically, what we would propose at last time, the benches are still falling from regardless. And
I appreciate now they've gone past repair.
There was a request that was on the item to the
Okay. So, Rob proposed we accept what's on the sheet. Have you got a seconder? Mark. All those in favour? Thank you.
Benches.
Me.
No, Mark.
I don't see the point in getting quotes, accepting them and not doing anything about it.
Item 18, additional signatures for council bank accounts. Joe.
Yes, Councillor Dyke has stepped down, so we need to replace him as a signature.
Someone on the finance committee, I presume.
Sorry.
I'd be happy to do that.
That's it.
Julie.
Julie volunteered.
I'll
All in
second
favour?
Julie.
Proposal, John's proposed it, seconded by Rob. All in favour? That's it, all in favour.
Scarpa.
It's easily done. It's easy to...
Now the next item is, I haven't got the figures from when we actually, I've got to bring them in all honesty. Oh, you got them? Oh, this is, yeah. Oh, I know that. I haven't got the figures how we distributed our funds to start with.
Looking a bit patient.
But anyway, what's happened is, as you well know, the Riverboat Festival has decided not to proceed this year, and we did donate to their cause. or we offered them £2,500. In the course of distributing our cash to the various organisations, we didn't really do what I call a fair percentage. We just gave some of them as much as we could, and the other ones said, well, they were asking for a lot of money, and we cut them right back. The medieval market and the Simon de Montfort celebrations or pageant, they asked, I think, for £15,000, didn't they? And we give them, we give them 5. We give them 9.5. To be quite honest, my own opinion is I don't see the point in shelving this or putting it on to next year's. The medieval festival this year has had a major problem. Poor Mike had a heart attack. He had a stroke, you know, and he took a long time to recover. And he is, you know, fair dues to the chap. He's working really hard. But I mean, this other 2,500 would be a really great help. Take a bit of pressure off. The expenses for running that show are enormous, and he does a lot of fundraising to pay for it, the toilets, the security, the first aiders, you name it. And Mike does a good job, take it from me. So all I'd like to just say is, have we got a proposer to put this money straight into the Evesham Festival? Sorry, Robbie.
If you're asking for a proposal to do that, Mr. Mayor, then no, I'm not prepared to do that just yet.
No.
I would like to make another comment. I have to confess, I won't say I'm indifferent towards the festivals. That's not true at all. I'm wholly supportive of all of them. But there were several festivals that applied for funds, and they all missed out because we didn't have enough cash. So
This
year.
This year.
So do we redistribute to one, or equally among them all, or pro rata among them all? That's one option. Do we store this for an improved River Festival next year? The River Festival's failed this year for a number of reasons, but one of those reasons was a lack of cash, and we were cautious about their accounts when they came to us before, because those who sat on the finance committee were aware that members of their committee were paying the bills privately. They didn't actually have enough cash in hand to pay the bills. So do we store it for future River Festival, and then next year when the River Festival comes, we give them their ordinary grant plus this bonus, this windfall? That's another option. And then the third option I'd put to put council tonight is, Ashley has put together a pretty damned awesome town of culture proposition. That's going to need funding when it comes to fruition. So do we put it to that? I certainly hope that whatever Ashley, the outcome of Ashley's proposal, whether it's good or bad, of course it's going to be good. It's still going to need some cash to support it. So maybe that's an option at all. I'm sorry that was of no help, but I wanted to put those three ideas into council's mind.
Good. And the next few
that was basically what I was going to say. I don't see the point of giving it all to the demographic.
You know, this is open debate. Yeah. So who would you suggest?
Well, similar lines to Robbie.
Other suggestions as to what we do with this money?
I think we should make them apply for it again. Those who want this funding, we've got £2,500. We put to the businesses that applied. To give it to one and not the other would be a travesty, to be honest, because people would feel, you know, it was favoured in one way.
Okay.
Whoever didn't get some money, we say, okay, you can apply. There's £2,500, and then we'll decide on who gets what.
Good idea. And
yeah. Oh, sorry, John.
Sorry, John. I think
you were pointing at me, but then
the point I was going to make was simply raised by Robin, certainly in his first point. And I think if it was all put to the one organisation, the others would kick off, and they would have every right to do so. So I think consideration has got to be given to the options that Robbie has proposed. They're all valid, it's which one we come down on, but the 2,500 needs to be allocated, and it's for us to decide how it is allocated.
Okay. So Emma, what about? Oh, sorry, Mark. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with everything that Robbie said. And what else? I think it would be simply wrong of us to unilaterally reallocate that money from one to another without having conversations with the people involved. My preference, to be perfectly honest, would be to simply leave it as an underspend. We've got enough things that are enough calls on our finances for the next year or so anyway. But if we are going to reallocate it, I think it should be looked at properly. If we are considering reallocating the underspend, I would suggest that this goes back to the Finance Committee to be considered in detail, rather than and the other organisations given the opportunity to apply for the extra slice, so to speak, rather than just us making a unilateral decision.
Well, I was technically agreeing with Councillor Googe, but I really think that it should just carry forward and be part of the pot for next year. Asking charities to come forward for a slice of 2,500 is perhaps a little bit cumbersome for them. If we could carry forward the 2,500 to the next projects that are all coming forward in the next year, that would increase that balance, rather than asking them to come and bid on 2,500. But we're all of the same opinion.
Similar.
Carry it forward for other people.
Bob Perry,
Yes, I agree with that. We had to make a decision in the first place as to how we allocated it. We didn't allocate it in direct proportion to what they applied for. We gave it more or less on the merits of each one. There's this festival that Ashley's got in mind. I think we need to keep it for that. The great danger if we give it like this is a danger that each year they add a bit, overinflate what they ask for a bit more, and expecting a percentage of that figure. And we have to be aware of it. So I would agree with that. We should hang on to the money so it's available for future festivals.
Yeah. Matt?
Yeah, I was just going to say, imagine if the person organising the Brass Band Festival was watching this meeting.
Yes.
Because I was at that Finance Committee meeting and you know, we didn't give them everything that they asked for. So I do think it's a bit rich to give, as much as I love the Battle of Eton Festival, it's one of my favourite things about this town. I do think it is a bit rich, and we do need to divide this money up somehow. And to do that, we need the original allocations of what we originally gave them in the first place, and then we can work out a way of divvying it up. So I do think that is probably a job for the Finance Committee.
I'd like to propose that we put it as an underspend this year, ring fenced to the River Festival next year. If the River Festival doesn't happen, then it's open to growth.
I'm happy to second that.
I third it.
Okay, right. Well, we've got a proposal there. Are there any other proposals?
Yep. I propose that we reapply, let the people who didn't get any money reapply and we dish it between them.
Is there a second for that? Cool.
Obviously not.
Okay, so the first motion is that we put it back into funds and we ring fence it possibly for the River Festival next year.
No, possibly just for the River Festival if they want it. If they don't want it next year, it goes into the general fund.
Just to clarify that though, in your opinions, so next year if the River Festival apply for whatever they apply for this year, say £4,000, and we have the funds there next year, we divide them all up as we do each year. We say, well, that's all we can afford out of that year's pot. We give them £2,500, and then we give them another 2.5 in this year.
Based on merit. Based on merit.
Right, okay.
You've got to be very careful.
I'm just clarifying the situation so that everybody knows what they're voting for. So if the Riverboat Festival do apply next year, they would get whatever they ask for or proportion what they ask for, and then on top of that, this ring fence money will go to them next year. Okay?
Are we going to tell them that we've done this?
No.
Yes.
Well, you just have, mate. We're on camera.
Well, that's it. Well, that's it, exactly. Probably
It will be in the minutes.
Okay, so we've got a
So are we going to tell them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we have.
We've got a proposer and a seconder. All those in favour of that motion? And those against? Sorry, John.
There you go, put both hands up.
Okay, that motion's carried. Thank you.
I think you're setting us up for a lot of trouble with the people who applied for grants, and now they're going to hear that there was money available and it's been sanctioned for next year. I think you set us up for a bit of trouble.
I won't be mayor next year, so I don't care.
Troubles like that this year.
I'd just like to say after this, my first official chairmanship, thank you very much for all your good behaviour and all your valid points that you all brought up. It's been very interesting listening to them, and I hope we resolve a few matters.
Please don't dismiss them in the future.
Thank you for your time. And now it is. Oh, well, no, what's his role? 8:30, yeah, that's right. 8:30, I close this meeting. Thank you very much.
Well, good night, everybody.